Hey, good Saturday morning, everybody. Turn that down. Hey, we're kicking off our live stream for the Saturday morning 8 o'clock briefing and tech talk today at 8 o'clock Central. So about 24 minutes from now. So please stick around and join us. If you can listen on the air, that'd be great. If not, then join us on here. Today we'll be covering the standard hazardous weather briefings or hazardous weather outlooks for Oklahoma, as well as Northwest Arkansas and a few counties in Texas. And then I'll be doing aviation forecast discussion for those areas as well. And then Joe KF5S is going to be discussing home weather stations. So you're going to want to tune in for that. Home weather stations and how to set them up and how to pick them. The features you might look for. So if you want a backyard weather station. So let's enjoy some music and the radar. By the way, that radar is live today here in the northeastern part of Oklahoma. So enjoy that until we go live in about 23 minutes now. See you then. All right, 10 minutes till we kick off our Saturday morning weather briefing and tech talk. Today's tech talk, Joe covers weather stations. Excuse me as I bop my way to the top of the hour. Enjoy. And by the way, that is look, a live look at the Northeast Oklahoma or Tulsa, Oklahoma radar. So those are some showers going through Washington and Nowata and approaching Craig counties. Be with you in about 10 minutes. 9 now. All right, everybody. Hey, I hope you guys can hear me okay. The wind is starting to kick up here in the backyard. I have this nice headset, so I'm hoping that will at least keep away most of the wind noise and direct the sound where it needs to be. I hope you guys can hear me and see me okay this morning. We are 4 minutes till we start our weather briefing here this morning. We do this every Saturday morning, barring any unforeseen events. 8 o'clock Central Time, we do a weather briefing for the state of Oklahoma, Northwest Arkansas, and some counties in the southwest part of Texas there. So anyway, I hope you can hear me this morning, and we'll get kicked off here in about 3 minutes now. 3 minutes until we go. One minute. Here we go. And come on, wind. Come on.
Network and our Saturday morning 8 a.m. briefing. We'll start out with the hazardous weather outlook for the Norman National Weather Service area, which covers all of western, southwestern Oklahoma, and parts of western North Texas. Isolated thunderstorms will be possible late this afternoon along and ahead of a dry line that's expected to be located across the eastern Texas Panhandle or far western Oklahoma. Any storm that does develop will have the potential to produce strong gusty winds and perhaps marginally severe hail. Storms are expected to weaken and dissipate after sunset with a loss of daytime heating. Elevated fire weather conditions will develop across western Oklahoma this afternoon, and as gusty south winds combined with hot temperatures and low relative humidities. And days 2 through 7, gusty south winds combined with unseasonably hot temperatures and very dry air will elevate the fire danger across western Oklahoma and western North Texas during the afternoon Sunday and again on Monday. Thunderstorms are expected to develop along and ahead of a cold front across Kansas Monday afternoon. A few of these storms may approach or develop southward into northern Oklahoma Monday night. A few of these storms could be severe with large hail and damaging winds, and we'll be watching for those. And we are in a marginal risk across parts of western Oklahoma today for those storms that could develop along the dry line. And with that, I'll go to the Tulsa hazardous weather outlook. This is getting virus continuing for the Tulsa area. A small cluster of thunderstorms is expected to fly across northeast Oklahoma this morning. Had a few up in Hazardous County this morning earlier, and looking at radar, those have moved over into Washington and Nevada counties. These are non-severe, but earlier this morning those could produce some gusty winds up to 40 miles per hour and some half-inch hail. They've decreased in intensity some, so got a little bit of rain and thunderstorms going on up in the northeast this morning. These should move on out of the area by this afternoon. South winds will gust to near 40 across northeast Oklahoma from mid-morning into the afternoon. Storm spotter emergency management action statement. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. And extended discussion with Tulsa. A couple of more breezy and warm days are expected through Memorial Day. Cold front will bring thunderstorm potential on Tuesday night into Wednesday, tapering off by Thursday. Another weak system will bring at least some potential for storms to close out the work week. There will be severe weather, locally heavy rainfall potential with any of these storms that develop throughout the week. And up in northeast Oklahoma, where you don't need the rain, that's something that you probably don't want to hear, because we're just now getting some of the roads back open, and some of the campgrounds and the recreational areas trying to get those open for the weekend, holiday weekend. I know there's a lot of people camping and traveling, and some of those areas, I believe, are probably still closed due to high water. And with that, it's wraps up the hazardous weather outlooks for Norman and Tulsa. I'll turn it over to Dan, WX for the aviation weather. Good morning, Dan. Go ahead.
Good morning, Joe, and everybody that's joining us via all the different modes of communication this morning. Hope everybody's doing well this beautiful Saturday. I am broadcasting and transmitting live from my backyard, where it's I got a sweatshirt on because it was a little bit chilly when I came out here, but it's warming up rapidly with that wind pumping in. So, excuse me, I will be covering the aviation forecast discussions for the Tulsa, Norman, and Fort Worth areas. I'll go ahead and kick off with Tulsa. Stand by. All right, this discussion was issued at 6:28 a.m. Central Daylight Time today. 12. This is for the 12 Zulu TAFs. A line of convection will continue to slide eastward across the northern portion of northeast Oklahoma this morning. This should weaken as it reaches far northwestern Arkansas. Thus, we'll add VCTS, which is thunderstorms in the vicinity, and a tempo or temporary group for KBVO this morning. Otherwise, scattered to broken high clouds and southerly winds becoming gusty are expected over the CWA today. I hope you guys can hear me with that wind. Gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour will, and I guess that's a demonstration of the wind. Gusts of 20 to 30 mile an hour will be possible for parts of northeast Oklahoma. This evening, winds could weaken over the CWA, some after sunset, before increasing again overnight tonight. Let me break. Also overnight, low-level wind shear and high-level clouds are forecast to be common. VFR conditions are forecast for the TAP period over the CWA. And that is the Tulsa area. I'll move into Norman now. WX5, WX. All right, continuing with the Norman area. This is a very simple one. VFR conditions are expected with gusty south winds. Low-level wind shear will be present over the next few hours and again tonight. Wind gusts are anticipated to diminish after sunset, so could be a little tricky day for flying small aircraft particularly. with that low-level wind shear and gusty winds. Let me move on now to the Fort Worth area. All right, this one is also for the 12 Zulu TAFs this morning. No aviation concerns through the forecast period other than breezy, gusty conditions today and tomorrow. Speeds will range from 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusts up to 30 miles per hour out of the south. A few mid to high level clouds will move through the TAF sites late afternoon, associated with convection expected to develop far to our northwest. No precipitation is expected over our area. The windy conditions will continue tonight and Sunday. This southerly low-level flow will bring some low-level clouds across the southeast early Sunday morning. Let me break. While this could briefly impact Waco, which is KACT, the best potential for marginal VFR ceilings remains to the east and south of the site. This is WX5WX with the Oklahoma Weather Information Network, and that is the aviation forecast discussions as I have them. Back to you, Mr. KF5S. Experiment today. Sorry.
Okay, doing real good. I appreciate the aviation weather update there. And I'll be doing just the tech talk this morning. I'll be talking a little bit about home weather stations. I think we've had a little bit of interest among some of the listeners out there and some of the hams wanting to know a little bit more about home weather stations. And I am by no means an expert on it, but I have had several different models of weather stations over the years, and talk a little bit about what I do know. And it all comes down to, one, you're going to be looking at price, what you can afford, and weather stations run anywhere from about $100, $120 on the cheap end up to into the thousands of dollars. So it's all what you want and what you expect to get out of one, and make it work best for you. By no means that you need $1,000 or $2,000 weather station that will do exactly the same thing. That one would cost $120 will do the same thing, but it comes down to durability and how reliable they are. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the different models out there this morning, and hopefully give you an insight on kind of what to look for. And again, the cost is usually the first thing you look at, and there's a lot of models out there. You got Accurate; they make several different models, got some beautiful displays. Those usually run anywhere from $100 to maybe $300, depending on where you get them at. There's usually the 5-in-1 models. That means all the instruments are built into one package. It mounts on a fence post or it's been on a ground sign. But what we get into with that is exactly what you're trying to achieve. It's recommended that you take wind speeds at 10 meters or 33 feet. You're not going to be able to put those self-contained packages at 33 feet and expect to get accurate temperature and humidity readings at that height. So you got to it comes down to finding one that will do what you want to do and be able to mount it at a decent level. And you also want to mount them to where you can access them to clean out the rain buckets. Occasionally get some trash and debris build up in those, and we'll have to clean those up once a year. This is KF5S continuing. Another thing that a lot of people look at is,
sorry, I had a bee
how do I get it online?
crawling across my screen and onto the camera. One of my bees.
Ways that can be achieved. Each vendor or each company, Accurate, they're you want to look for the displays that have the PC Connect capability. Basically, all that is a USB cable that will plug into the back of the display and plug into your computer. And I believe Accurate still has their own a website that you can upload data to, and you can view that online. And I believe that also has the option to upload to Weather Underground. You have to set an account up on Weather Underground, but once that's set up and going, your weather station will upload to it. And this SK5 is continuing. And we got the Davis weather stations. They also make one that's in a self-contained package, holds everything, the temperature, humidity, standby one. Okay, let's turn down the computer here. Davis also makes a self-contained one of these: temperature, wind, rain, collection, wind speed direction, as I said, and it's a good unit. Those, I believe, run somewhere around 289 up to probably 300, depending on where you get them at. Different companies have different prices on those, but those are good instruments. Mount those about 7 or 8 feet off the ground at the most. You'll get pretty good wind representation. You want to be sure you put them out in the open. You don't want them. You can mount them up on the edge of either your roof or something. Just be sure there's no heat vents or anything close by that will throw the temperature off. And one thing about the Davis instruments, if you want to upload to the internet, they want you to use their WeatherLink software, and you have to buy a separate data logger that plugs into the back of those Davis consoles to enable you to do that. So that's another $100 there or more that you have to spend to be able to achieve that on the Davis models. But once that's set up, those will work very well. There's also some third-party software out there that you can also get that will upload to not only Weather Underground, but to CWP and other sites on the internet. This is SK5 is continuing. And get on down, you got ambient weather stations. Ambient makes some good weather stations. They're straightforward, simple setup. You can upload to their ambient weather network and also to Weather Underground. Pretty simple setups for those. Across, another good company, makes some good weather stations. And you got the new Tempest. I say they're new, but those are by Weather's Globe. Those have absolutely no moving parts. Anemometers are all sonic wind sensor measurements. In other words, it measures the wind speed and direction with it blowing across sensors in the unit itself. Those are pretty cool. A little pricey, but those will also upload to, it uses a Connect hub to upload to your smartphone and to the internet. Yes, SK5 is continuing. Another thing that you look at when you're shopping around, most of the units are wireless from the unit outside to the display, which is the receiver. Inside, some high-end models will reach or work up to 1,000 feet. I have the Davis Vantage Pro 2, and with that, I can separate the anemometer up to 50 feet, so I can go up to the 33.
That's actually a really cool feature, being able to separate those two so you can get more accurate winds versus temperatures.
Waking trees and the house and everything, so it works very well at 18 feet. But the other sensors are on a post mounted down closer to the ground to get the more accurate temperature, humidity, and if you want to put a soil moisture sensor on it, you can do that. Monitor your farm, ranch, whatever you might want to keep up with soil moisture content and everything. You also get some models that will detect lightning as well. So just kind of shop around and look at different models. One other thing that you want to look at is the frequency that those transmit data from the outside unit to the receiver. That's kind of another big issue. Some will transmit every 2 to 3 seconds, while others may be 12 to 18 seconds. SSF5S continuing. And, I think mine uploads actually transmits every 2 to 3 seconds on the Davis, and it's pretty accurate. The Accurate that I had up, it was typically 7 to I think 12 seconds on it. And you do run a chance on missing some of the max wind speed gusts when they do that. But some units now will actually record the high max gust, and if it don't catch it on the transmitter, it'll get it on. It'll actually upload it on the next time it does upload. So it's kind of a neat feature that they've added on some of the higher end stations. And solar panels, you'll see a lot of stations that have the little solar panels on them. That does not necessarily mean that their station runs off of solar power. The Accurate models, that solar panel, the only thing that does is run an internal fan that blows across the temperature sensor to keep the airflow consistent, so for the temperature it's not going to vary. And Accurate's kind of known for their the plastic housing and everything during the summer, hot summer with direct heat on those. Those things will heat up well above the ambient temperature, and they will be off anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 degrees. If the fan goes out, the one I had, the little fan actually did go out, and my temperature was way off until I got that replaced. But this is something to keep in mind. Some of the higher end models have better airflow. Don't have fans. You can buy fans more like the Davis Vantage Pro. I got a fan on it, but
the camera looks weird this morning. Sorry.
On that unit is more than adequate for what I've got here. So I don't have to have the fan on it. And on mine, the solar panel actually charges an internal capacitor during the day. It runs the station, the transmitter, transmits to the receiver, all that internal workings. It runs off of a capacitor inside the unit. At night, there's no sunlight on the panel. It will continue working on that capacitor until it depletes, and then it'll go to the internal battery, which is a 3-volt battery. I replace that about once a year. And I believe some models, most of them Accurate, I think uses AA batteries. Again, the solar panels on those only run a fan that do not charge the battery. The Tempest models, solar panels do charge a lithium battery, and those will last 5 years or life. I'm not really sure. Chuck, I think, has one of those, and he could probably, if you're interested in Tempest, he'd be the one to go to on that one. And with that, that's about all I got. I hope I enlightened everyone on home weather stations. They're fascinating. They can be a bit of a learning curve setting them up, but once they're set up and going, they're fascinating. Mine uploads to Weather Underground, also CWOP, and to the NOAA MADIS system, which goes out all over the place. A lot of people see data from my station, and yours can do that as well. This is DFIS. I'll turn it back to Dan, WH5WX, to wrap things up. If you have any questions about weather stations that you want to ask, go ahead and do so, and I'll try to answer any. If not, if you're on Weather Chat and have questions, I'll answer them there.
K5, be William.
Go ahead, Ray. I hope I'm not doubling with you, Joe. But go ahead, Ray. You're on the air.
The information that Weather Underground accumulates, where does that go from there? Do they send that data to another place, or what happens to that data?
Hey, good morning, Ray. This is CF5S. If you upload the Weather Underground, it only goes to Weather Underground. You can view your weather station live. It's pretty much live on it. It updates. If you're weather station is updating like it's supposed to, you'll actually see it update while you're looking at their website. You'll see the wind speed direction every 2 to 3, 5 seconds. You'll see it update. That's pretty much their website. A lot of people view it. A lot of companies use that data. But it doesn't upload or doesn't go anywhere between there. You have to actually view it on their website.
This is the one they're talking about that Chuck has, KP40JT.
Correctly, you can also upload that data from there. Goes to the NOAA MADIS system that distributes it to a lot of different locations. Not just CWOP websites, you can see it there, but you can see it on multiple other websites too. Mine actually goes to the Meso West website. You can see my weather station on the Meso West side as well. It comes from the CWOP upload. So it just depends on which one that you're using.
Joe, these Mesonet sites you see around the state, who's accumulating that information? Where does it go?
It actually goes to Norman, to the Oklahoma Mesonet. You can, if you look at the Oklahoma Mesonet website, that's pretty much where it goes. The Weather Service uses data from those. It's basically NOAA setup. But yeah, Oklahoma Mesonet, a lot of people don't know this, it actually came about as a project that stemmed from a let it drop there for a minute. The Mesonet Oklahoma was set up with funding. It actually come from a lawsuit years ago from, I'm not real sure what it was, something to do with environmental issues in the state and stuff, and all came about. They had the funds left over, so they put it in and created the Oklahoma Mesonet, and that's where all those sites come in at. But those mainly go to the Oklahoma Mesonet office there in Norman at the National Weather Center.
Thank you, Joe. That's a real informative class this morning. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Ray. Well, I appreciate it. Like I say, I'm no expert by any means. I've used AccuRite. Those are pretty good. Of course, with anything, you get what you pay for. But just starting out, those are not bad. They're easy to connect to the internet, to Weather Underground, and so is the ambient weather stations. I think those are pretty reasonable in price, and they're from what I've seen, are pretty easy to hook to the internet. Davis is the only one that's kind of cantankerous about it. They want you to use their WeatherLink software, and of course you have to buy the external data logger and everything. That's a lot more expense, but they are higher end weather stations too. But check it out. Go online. There's places. In fact, I'm looking at one here, the 8 best home weather station reviews in 2022. Just to give you a quick idea. Ambient, one of their stations is number 1 on the list. The second one is also an ambient best premium model, and most accurate is, of course, the Davis weather stations. Best ultrasonic model is the ambient. So just go online, check them out. Kind of compare cost and compare to what you actually need and what you want to spend on these things. But there are a bunch of them out there. It's really good, really worth the money, and you don't have to invest a whole lot in them. This is KFIS. Are there any other questions?
Sorry for the wind noise. It's part of doing this live outside, huh?
Okay, here in Untitled, go ahead and pick it up to WX5WX KFIS. I'll let you wrap up the morning briefing.
All right, very good. I want to thank you, Joe, for your information on weather stations. I know Ray was asking about that, and I appreciate it as well, because at some point down the line, I'm going to probably upgrade my weather station. It's going to be a while. I'm going to make sure I got my tower up before that, my 40-foot tower with my antennas, and try to put it on that. But it will be something I have in my plan. So I do appreciate all that information. I apologize for anyone watching the live stream right now for the wind noise and the camera quality. It looks like, at least from my end, it looks like it's got some kind of a weird artifact going on. So that is the fun of doing stuff live from the backyard. So anyway, you guys all have a great day. Thank you for joining us. If you guys enjoyed the live stream too, by the way, just leave me a message. My WX5 WX_Dan at at outlook.com. And maybe this is something I'll start doing more often. But appreciate it. Hope you guys all have a great Saturday and a weekend coming up. I'm going to take the rest of the day and rest and enjoy the family. So, and the beautiful day the Lord has made. I want to thank my bees for joining us on the live stream this morning. They were buzzing around too. You guys all have a great day. And I'll be standing by here on the talk group for just timed it out. I will be standing by on the talk group here for a bit. If anybody has any questions or comments or complaints. WX5WX. We'll stay on here just a few more minutes in case anybody has any comments or questions about things Joe talked about. Man, I'm sorry about that camera. I don't know if it's coming through on your end. It probably is. I took a glimpse on my phone and it looked like it probably was. So I apologize. I don't know what's going on with that. It's probably, when you're live, some weird little internet glitch that's causing it. But all right. Sounds like everybody's done. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. You guys enjoy your weekend. I'm going to probably just enjoy this beautiful weather and be outside with Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's beautiful creation today, and enjoy the day. You guys have a good one. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining me.